Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. We got a Thursday fun-filled day of trading that we're going to be doing. Super excited. Good morning, Tiff. I'm glad that you're here. We are going to be watching the Nasdaq trade today. And yesterday I got off before the close. I got off right after the big drop yesterday, where the market dropped. We got like a 30 handle play out of it. We really had to be patient. But then guess what the market did? The market literally just turned around and went to the moon. I didn't understand why. I mean, so we had the market do this big collapse right here, and then it went right back up. And so overnight was at all-time highs. And we had our data high this morning. We had news come out at 8:30 this morning. So we have data highs and data lows. We're basically sitting here waiting for something to happen. I'm not bullish. I mean, I don't know how you can be. I'm going to keep saying that, and one of these days I'm going to be like, forget it. Let's just go long, because that's what's working. But right now, it's 50-50 either way. We're either going to run for these highs or these lows. This is the data candle. And I'm not sure which one it wants to do yet. Excuse me. I had a cough there. Good morning, John. Glad to have you. You did some nice trades this morning, Tiff. There was some decent price action, really. You could see over the morning, the London session, we hit a high and we started making lower highs. And then this probably looks the most interesting right here. We had a breaker. This is what I would have been interested in. We had a breaker, and then we had some relatively equal highs right here that we purged. And after it purged those, it basically collapsed. And what time was that? It was 5 o'clock. So look at that. Right around 5 o'clock, we see that big drop. $2R, that's a good return. Good return. So we got 3 minutes till market opens. And really we have this fair value gap here that price has been respecting on the 15-minute. Let's drop down to the 5-minute and see what we got going on. We're going to have a big opening gap to the downside. So that's really what I'm going to be interested in. So let's do this here. I'm curious on where equilibrium is from this high and this low. Okay. So equilibrium is right here. I would like us to hit into this 1-minute fair value gap before we start dropping. If we can get that, I would be interested in going short. Depending on how, if something forms. I'm not just going to go take a stab and then go short. That just doesn't make sense. But as you're going to see, we have a big opening range gap. If you look at the daily candle, there's a huge gap on the daily candle. Morning, BF. I'm glad you're here. But we're gonna have a big opening range gap, and so it's just a matter of how high are we wanting to retrace before we do some type of setup. So I will be interested in a breaker going short or an inversion of some kind. That's really what I'm going to be looking for. 2 minutes till open. Yeah, NQ can be really volatile. I know people don't like how fast it moves, but I I like it. I do like it. The main reason I like it is I only have to get 10 handles and I can be done. 10 handles and I can make a lot of money. So I copy, right now I copy about 6 different funded accounts and that I'm building up, and I got 4 more eval accounts that are in the works, and I just copy trade them all. So 1 trade, 2 trades a day is really what I'm looking for to keep my action at. Made some equal lows here. This is nice. So we have news here. Actually, we just had the news, or open. So that's the opening candle. How big are these candles? Okay, they're not too big. Yeah, 10 handles, I mean, on one mini is $200. So $200 times 6, you're looking at $1,200 right there. So you get, my goal is to get up to 10, and then I'll look at going to 20. So you're looking at, I mean, you could have a lot, you could make a lot on just 10 handles. So that's why it's worth being patient and waiting for that, just that right setup, because 10 handles is like that. I mean, here, this candle opened at 34. Here's 24 right here. And then that's not very much. But then it can run the other way. So that's 10 in this chart, what you're looking at right here, that's 10 handles. That's all price has to move for me to have a win. That's really all I want. Now, if I can get 20 handles, boy, that's just like Christmas. 20, 30 handles, that is like, boy, I might quit for the week. You know, as I trade more and more, I watch all these other traders that are like, yeah, I take 1 trade a week. And I'm like, how can you do that, man? How can you just not take trades? And the longer I do this, the more I realize the less I want to take trades, because I just want to get in, take the money I want, get out, and not have to risk losing money. Nobody likes to lose money, but the opportunity is so great here that when you're just starting out, it's like, oh man, I'm going to try to make as much as I can. All right, we made almost equal highs here. Let's see, what do we got on the 30-second? We got a 30-second decent candle right here. A 30-second inversion right here. That's interesting. We've seen it rejected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So that candle up to this high right here, that is interesting in itself. So you could play the break of this candle, close above this candle to this swing high right here. It would look like that. It would look, it's not very many handles, so it's only 8 handles, so it's not not a trade that I would be as interested in. I want at least 10 handles on something like this. But look how choppy it's getting right now. What I'm talking about is the individual candle. Look how it's just it's like getting more aggressive. I've noticed that moves start happening when you start seeing that aggression in the individual candle. It's like, hey, I'm trying to get you out. I don't want you to go with me. And then you'll see price start moving sometimes. We got these equal lows here. And we got equal highs right here. So I would love to see the equal highs ran first and then look for an entry to go short. But let me show you guys what our regular trading hour is. Okay, we got this massive gap right here. Okay, huge gap right here. We're gonna just put that on here and get our yellow up. All right, so that's what we got for our regular trading hours. But on the 30-second, there's really not much. On 1 minute, still, like I said, not much. I prefer the 1 minute. But it seems lately that the 30-second has just had nicer structure to look at. So let's see what we can get here. This is a 30-second fair value gap, if you're wondering. All right, so price ran the equal lows first. Let's go to the 2 minutes, see if there's anything on these. We got a high, low, higher, high on the 3 minute. We got a 3 minute fair value gap right here. Nothing's obvious. Nothing's obvious. I've been learning that, yeah, I can make this a breaker and it probably would work, but is it obvious? Hey, good night, Tiff. Glad that you're here. Thanks for stopping in. Love when you chime in, give us your thoughts. So thanks. But when it's not obvious, it's like, do you want to take that trade? So this would be your entry right here. Boom. Do you want to take that? I don't. Especially with how it opened. I do like this. Let's go down to the 30-second. I bet you there's not a fair value gap. Bet you there's one on the 15-second. Nope, not even one on the 15-second. Guys, stay away from that. Nothing convenient there. So what we're looking for is something clear. Something unmistakably clear that price is running an inverse, running through a fair value gap, or hitting a breaker. Those are the things that I'm looking for. Now I have my narrative. My narrative that I'd like to see is us to clear these by pushing higher into this fair value gap. We could go up all the way into this fair value gap because we'll have a mitigation block right here that price could find some resistance at. And then I would want us to see move lower. I did not put our midnight open on here. Where's midnight open? All right. So we closed. If we close in 1 minute, let's see. We open. Where did we open at? Yeah, we're right at equilibrium. If we get a CSID, change in state of delivery on the 5 minute, we could see a push higher that could go towards these highs. All right, so there was the close on the 30-second, I'm sure. It looks like it. We only got 20 seconds left on that candle. Let's see. Yeah, so it closed too high for that. Obviously, that would have been barely anything. So let's see how it reacts to this 1 minute fair value gap right here. We got a minute left on the 5 minute. There's really nothing here structure-wise for us to consider. We do have this wick down into this 5 minute BISI, and then we see the explosion higher. So this could be what propels price higher. So we got a high, low, no, a high, low, higher, high. No, we have a low, high, lower, low. So this candle right here would be our breaker to the upside, overlaps with this fair value gap. On a daily time frame, this would look like a market maker buy model or sell model. So we're at the beginnings of on a much higher time frame. Here is this one. Here's our original. This would be our original consolidation. We have our expansion with a small retracement, and we have another expansion. We could either get a retracement here or an additional expansion. But this is where I see this as a buy side. So we definitely, from that context, could see higher prices. And with it being an election year, it wouldn't surprise me if they want to keep prices high. It just wouldn't surprise me. We got LRLR down here. These nice lows, just ascending trend line that is going to want to be ran at some point. So we want to see how does price want to run those. Or if price wants to run those. I'm going to drop a share on X. If you're asking if I'm going to take this when it hits this level, no, I'm going to see how it reacts. We're between a high and a data high and a data low, and it literally could go for either one of these. All right, so there's an inversion of that fair value gap. And we also hit midnight open. Let's see if it finds some support here. If it pushes through this fair value gap right here, I like this for a long. It needs to be aggressive though. If it's not going to do it right away, I'm not interested. I want aggressive candles, and it doesn't look like it wants to do that. This makes this like an A setup, B plus setup, because we have equal lows down here. And it's not super clear, super clean. I would have liked just the tag of this breaker right there. I would have just liked the tag of it, but not a push through and close and an inversion and inverting this 1 minute or 30-second. I think it's a 1 minute actually. Yeah, this 1 minute. So that makes it less attractive. I think I'm going to pass on this one. I don't like it anymore. And then what did we do? We closed below it, then closed back above it. So I'm not liking this price action. Do you see how it's disrespecting, guys? You need to be able to recognize price action when it's crappy, okay? We inverse this. We closed below it right here. That should be a short. Well, we didn't take it because we have this breaker here. We want to see how price reacts, and we have data lows and data highs that we don't know which way it's going to go. The next candle closes above the fair value gap. That invalidates the short and just trash price action. So nothing really we want to take right now. It's not something we want to consider. I'm not, you know what? I take back what I said. I really probably wouldn't take this long. The main reason is we have this big gap here. I don't expect the whole thing to be filled, but I'm really drawn to these, at least the consequent encroachment, which is overlapping with this 4-hour fair value gap. So the 4-hour fair value gap, let's see what it looks like here. So for us to move higher, we're going to want to tag this 4 hours at some point, right? So that's the intention for this draw on liquidity for me, is typically for us to move higher, it needs to find support at a fair value gap. So look at this look at this candle here. So after we have this giant green candle, we go higher a little bit more, and then this candle right here, June 12th at 1400. What does it do? It goes lower first into what? Into this 4-hour fair value gap. It finds support and then it expands higher. Okay? So if we're going to want an expansion here, if we're going to see an expansion, I want to see a retracement before the expansion. I think any expansion higher right now would be manipulation. I would see it as manipulation because we got these 4-hour equal lows down here. So I'm saying publicly, I'm not taking any longs right now. I'm not going to take a long. I want to see this 4-hour tagged. We're not that far away. We're only about 80 handles away, which makes for an opportunity if something shows up. So not interested in longs. Does that logic make sense, guys? Give me some type of feedback. Does that logic make sense on why we don't want to look for longs yet? Look at this one. Remember that 30-second I had on the charts? Let's go back. Close above. You should be targeting these equal highs. Next candle closes on the close. I mean, no. I mean, that's ridiculous. Then we come up here. We don't break that high. This just price action here is not very good. Appreciate it, BF. Thanks. Glad that makes sense. This is the fair value gap that I had on before that I wanted to see price find resistance at. Looks like it is. But nothing. Guys, if we can be patient, I don't know how many of you were on with me yesterday during FOMC. Right now we got nothing. So on this chart, I'm going to show you what we were looking at yesterday. Yesterday during FOMC started right here. This was FOMC right here. From here, let's remove some of this. FOMC started at this candle right here. All this was FOMC right here. Okay. You can see that this candle alone from 518, it went to 518 to 449. So it went like 60 handles in a flash, and then it did all of this stuff. I took a short right here. After we hit this high, we had this breaker right here. So I took this short right here, and it basically stopped me out because we pushed higher. That's what I thought. That's when I thought we were going to go short. And then I got in for a short right around here, and it was just going back and forth, and I just got cold feet because it's FOMC, and it eventually ran for about 30 handles, but I missed that trade. After that, we sat from 1444 to 1521 for about 35 minutes. So from the open 1400 to about an hour and a half we sat and did almost nothing. Nothing clear came up until we got about right here. I took this short, got in on this retracement on this bullish order block, and then we went short for about 30 handles. But we did nothing here. And if we can be patient through this, we can be patient here. I said all that just to say that one thing. Okay? We can be patient and we can wait for a premium setup. There will be a premium setup that will give us something that is worth the time us sitting here. It will be worth it. It'll be worth it. You just got to believe that it will be worth it, so that you can maintain your patience and your composure, not trying to chase the flashes of the candle, the manipulations of a candle, thinking that, oh, this is it. I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss the move. Whatever it may be. Patience. You know what? If I had to scale my patience on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably a 7. Probably a 6 or a 7. I am significantly better. Just at the beginning of the year, I was probably a 2. And I thought I was decent. Then. You don't know how impatient you are until you realize how patient you've become. Let me say that again. You don't realize how impatient you were until you've become extremely patient waiting for those premium setups. When you can really wait for those guys, you're going to see a huge difference in your trading. You will. Simply because the market is designed to take your money, but then there's glimpses of beautiful setups, glimpses of clean, clear models that fit your strategy that will give you something. I'm looking at my micro chart. There's a 30-second right here. We're not going to take it, but it did ran and sweep these relatively equal lows right here. So let's see what happens right here. Okay. If you close above that, that would be a long to these relatively equal highs. However, if we go on the 4-hour, what do we say? Reason why we're not taking longs is look at these equal lows. And I know that before price is going to want to go higher, it will come into this. It will. So I'm going to play the setup, the clear setup that gives me a setup short towards this. And ideally, I would like it to be at the top of the hour of an hour, whether it's 9 o'clock or whether it's 10 or 11 o'clock. I don't care. I'm willing to sit here a whole other hour if I have to for that setup that gives me 10, 20, 30 handles. And the cleaner it is, the more confidence you have in holding the play. And these choppy, crappy plays, you just are like in and out you get nervous. You can feel the anxiety building up inside you, wondering if it's going to run against you. When you got these clear, crystal clear setups, man, you just got the confidence to be able to hold for those longer plays that gives you a higher RR and just, a nice win, I do one of those for 20, 30 handles, man. I mean, that's like $2,000 or something like that on my micro accounts, because I'm doing micros still. I'm doing all my funded accounts on macros as I build up the accounts, as I build up my evals and pass those evals and add to it, because I just don't want to blow them. So if I'm doing 5 micros on each account, that's $300 per account. That's $1,800. So I mean, you can live well on this if you can be patient. This is a game not for the impatient. I'm saying all this for myself, guys. I'm saying this all for myself. You just get to hear me talk to myself. Now, I don't like if we start running here, I'm going to be disappointed because we made a lower high and this made this a mitigation block, which is like a step below a breaker, and I don't like those. So if it runs without me, that will irritate me. We grabbed a little bit of this liquidity. We're probably going to strike this right now. The new day opening gap, not as much. I use the weekly gap 100%, but the new day opening gap I kind of replaced with the opening range gap. So the opening range is this yellow box from the regular trading and electronic trading hours, and I use this one more than I use the new day opening gap. So we made some equal lows here. I could see a push. I could see a push through right here. Change in state of delivery on the close of this 5 minute here, which is in 30 seconds. If this goes without us to the upside, that's fine with me. We have equal lows here, and I've seen them leave these before and run higher. This 1 minute right here. That's a really aggressive though. This is a very aggressive candle. If we don't hit this, I may try to grab just these highs for a small scalp, especially if it's going against my bias. I could see us really us tagging these and then going lower. But it's still lower quality because we have those equal lows. I'm 50-50 if I'm going to take this. I don't know yet. I'd rather it not close above so it can just make my decision easier. Okay, so that makes my decision easier. I didn't want it to take it. Because the last thing you want is it does it, you're talking about it, and then it runs without you. So I'm actually grateful that it did not close. Because I don't want to have to deal with that decision. I do like this though, man. We just hit the breaker right here. The candle high right here. So low, high, lower, low. I'm probably not going to make the decision until it happens. It'd be better RR if I got in here though, at the breaker. But especially with it finding resistance right here, we could just see it go lower here. It's the top of the hour. This has, I'll take this if it goes. I'll probably take this if it goes. The main reason is we're in the macro time frame. We grabbed liquidity. Stop would probably be moved to break even fairly quickly if I take it. What I would rather take if it goes is that one. We got 44 seconds though. What about on the 30 second? 30 second will work as well. A close below this. Okay, no close on the 30 second. So we got to wait for the minute. Let's see if we close below this. We're still. Is it that clear? I'm asking you guys. Does this look that clear? It doesn't. Good morning, InterTrader. What's that? I don't know what that's. Oh, new week. Are you talking about the NDOG, new day opening gap? New day. So if you go from when price closed yesterday to when it opened at 1800, there's usually a gap. That's the new day opening gap. All right, there's the close. I'm going to take that short. I want to see it move fairly quickly right now. If it's not, I'll get out. There's a nice push higher. Let's see if it... Oh, there we go. I like that candle. Come on, baby. Okay, let's see where this candle closes. Okay, I think I'm going to get out here. I'm not going to waste my capital on that. It didn't do what I want. It can still run without me. It's in this chop. I'm going to wait. Like I said, I'm going to wait for something. Something that's cleaner. It looked clean. I mean, it really did, but we just got all this chop right here. Let's see if, let's see, I think I got in short right there. Let's see if what happens. Just because. Honestly, I wanted to hit my stop loss so it validates me getting out. Honestly, it should have ran one way or the other by now. Either way, I'm glad I got out because, I mean, it's just chopping back and forth right here with everything to the left of it. I just thought because we inversed this really quickly in a matter of 2 candles, we were right at 10:04. We're in the middle of the macro that we might just continue running. That was the idea. That was the idea behind that. All right, so it did tap me out. But it technically would have had to been a close above this. So bodies have been respecting this pretty well. Yep, it is 50-50, 100%. There's my candle. There's the candle that I wanted. All right, we just hit the data low right there. BF, the only macros that I work with is from 9:45 to 10:15, from 10:45 to 11:15, and then there's a macro that starts right at noon, and then I wait until 1:45 to 2:15. Those are the macros that I usually use. I don't do anything in between those. I know that there's some traders that made up a macro time, but I strictly use ICT. Well, I had the right idea. I just didn't have the balls to hang on to it, which yeah. Okay, so now that we got this big drop, guys, what we're waiting for is some type of retracement with an inversion to go lower. That's what we would be looking for. We got the equal lows sitting right here. Data lows have been hit. Yeah, I know. It's easy to not just run without you. That's why a higher time frame analysis is so important. Yeah, man, I'm the opposite. ES, I just don't like the way it moves. I think that's why I like NQ better. I like the movement specifically. I hate how slow ES is. Yeah, I haven't looked at ES at all to see what the structure looks like. All right, so see how we tagged those equal lows and we tagged into this 4 hour. If you go into the 15-minute, there is a fair value gap right here from here to here. It wouldn't surprise me if we fill that 15, or at least tag into that 15-minute as well. That could be a potential target. But as far as my reasoning of what I need to go long, it's fulfilled that for me. But I think there's some more downside to go. New day opening gap to equal lows and previous day AM low. Yeah. I mean, guys, that's what I was going for. I wanted these lows. I knew they were going to hit before any up move happened. And if any up move went beforehand, I would have looked at that as manipulation. But where's my entry? The only entry that I potentially had was this candle right here. I did get in, but I ended up getting out. I got out for about a 5 handle loss. Because we grabbed these lows, this low didn't have to be ran. I didn't have a high conviction in it, and I just would rather save my capital for something that was clear. And it eventually went my way. That's one of the things I guess high efficient traders talk about is once you're in your position, you don't change your stop loss, you let the trade play out. And I did not do that. Yeah, my stop loss is 10 handles. I mean, it's a hard stop loss. For inversions, they're different. The inversion stop loss is a close above the inversion. So in this case, we closed below here. My stop would be a close above this. And we didn't get close to that. It would have wicked me out at 10 handles. But technically, it would have to close. Oh yeah, the ChatGPT. That's helpful if you take all your transactions. Just do a CVS file and drop them into ChatGPT and find out when you're most profitable. It's definitely is very interesting. So here's 50% of the opening range gap. And I like that candle there. I would love for it to go short. It found resistance here. Hit that level to go lower. We're already just too low. My momentum trade, if I was going to take one, it should have been right here. Get in right there. Target these lows. And I didn't do that. If I got in there to there, been 15 handles. That's gonna be broken. You could get in here for probably 5 handles. Nope, nope, just wicks right below it, then goes higher. This is why you don't play that. This is why I don't play that. Because this looks like it's gonna go lower. It does, but it just wicks it and then goes the other direction. Now it's probably gonna run this LR. Low resistance liquidity run. LR. Now it wants to go. Consequent encroachment of the 4 hour. We're coming up right there. So on the 1 hour, 5 minute, 15 minute, you could see this as a high, low, higher high with the data highs. And we have this low, and we could come back up into this level, which sitting right here. That would be an idea. That was the idea right there. Just wouldn't have taken that. All right, so now we're in that 15 minute. Man, that just irks me so much, guys. Oh. Yeah, I know, BF. It's irritating. This is the discipline factor right here. And I agree with you. There will be another trade. It's just, man, I could have been done. I could have been done. And I could have not been down 5 handles. But absolutely right. There'll be another trade. Another setup will come. There is always another setup. We just have to maintain discipline. So here's my guess. For the next 30 minutes, we're gonna hover around this level. We're gonna make some highs, some lows, and we're gonna do some choppy chop. It could be clean. It may be. It may not be clean. So I think we're gonna do something like this, and then right around 11 o'clock, we'll probably get something like this that gives us a move higher. That's what I would want to look for. That's what I would want to look for. So Patience is required. So the 1 hour really has nothing lower. There's honestly, unless we're really bearish, there's no reason for us to go lower. We filled the 4 hour. There's not a 1 hour. We filled, we hit, we're in the 15-minute premium. The 5-minute also is filled right here. This is a 5-minute that we're in as well. And there's nothing below it. Okay? So, there is, unless we want to go lower and fill in more of this 5-minute and completely fill the opening range gap, there really is no reason for us to go lower. So, I know we got a bunch of overlapping crap right here, but I'm doing it on purpose to make things clear. This is a 15-minute. All right, so let's do that. There's the 4 hour. Oh, look at it. Look at that. So it's going a lot faster than I necessarily wanted. 20 seconds. That is an aggressive candle. If we come back down and tag this, I will go for a long here. If it goes without me, it's going to go without me. Looks like it's going to go without me. I wanted this right here. We're already high. That would have been 10 handles at the close. So that would have been what I didn't realize it was that big of a move. I thought that was a lot smaller. That was this would have been a momentum play. I should have took that, but I didn't. I decided I wanted us to tag this and then go long, but it did not tag us, so it left without me. It tagged the swing high, so stop loss would be at break even right now. So your trade should look like this. You should be, that would have been break even, so that was a 10 handle play. And you either took it off at 10.5 handles, or you took size off at least with your stop to break even. Now, you might be asking, well, what if it comes back down and tags this? Now I'm not interested in it because it already grabbed the swing high that's sitting right here. So the trade idea is completely missed on my end. We're also hitting the breaker right now. This is a breaker for a short. I'm going to go short right here. Just going to go for a quick scalp here. Hopefully we get a little bit of a drop. And that's 10 handles right there. All right, so that was a 10 handle breaker right there that we just took. I got out at 10 handles. Wow, that seems really, oh wait, there it is. Okay. I got out right about there. Okay, so why did I take that? If you look at the 5 minute, the 5 minute had this breaker right here, high, low, higher, high, and it was the equal lows. So this was the equal lows. And we also had the 50% retracement right here. From that entire move lower, from this high to this low, we come up right up to it. We almost went past it. You could say from body to body, it tagged it perfectly. From body to body, it tagged it perfectly. So knowing that we are that close and we are finding resistance there, I wanted to go short. That was a risk worth taking. So that's a 10 handle bearish breaker. And because we could have some room higher to go and we have no downside target, that's why I only went for a small scalp. And I'm just happy to get 10 points. Now I was down 5 points, so that's really, I'm just up 5 handles on the day. So let's see if anything else shows that's worth getting into. Does that make sense for those why I took that trade? Why I took that breaker to the downside? We had a couple things that were showing up for me. We hit the swing high. We had a 50% equilibrium of this trade, and we had a bearish breaker right here on a higher time frame. I like this right here. If we don't grab this swing high right here, I'll play that just to these swing highs. But we can't go above this. So it's a tight entry. Made equal highs there. I'm going to take a long right there. Stop's going to be a quick stop to break even. Stop's going to be to break even here relatively quickly. Let's see if it hits it. All right. Need a little bit of push. All right. Stops at break even. Come on. There it is. 10 candles right there. All right. I'm going to take that off right there. I'm happy with that. That's 15 handles on the day for me. So what I took there, let me just put it in. I got in before the close, about 4 seconds before the close. It was about right here. Actually, yeah, because I got in before the close. It was somewhere around here. Oops. So we had the long position. So I was somewhere around here. I got in for a long, and I got 10 handles. So right on that push is when I got out. You can see my 10 handle mark was right there. And I moved stop to break even fairly quickly. So price never came back down. After it wicked down lower and came back up, it did not come back down. And as soon as we went above these equal highs right here, I moved my stop to break even. And then we had that push for 10 handles, and that's what I took. So that is another win for us, guys. That puts me really nice on the day. On all my accounts. Let's see, what does that come out to be? 3, 6, 9, 12, 1350, 14, 15, 18, $2,000. That's a $2,000 day. That is all I need, guys. That is all I need. So that last one came in pretty quickly. It was worth taking, though, because there's no downside move. But as you can tell, I'm not going to hold through this. There's stop to break even right there. There's your stop to break even. That's why I got out on this initial push. We really could go to this 5-minute, though. We have this 5-minute fair value gap. So, did any of you guys take any of those trades? Any of you guys follow along on any of that? Hopefully, this isn't an alert service, but this is where we're learning together and we're taking some trades. This was decent. It took us some time. We were patient, and it started off with one loss, which turned into a phenomenal win. Should have been in that one, but then we took this breaker short right here, and then when we saw the momentum shift again and break above this 30-second right here, we went long to the swing high for another 10 handle move. So putting total on the day is about 15 handles for the day. I guess we have a little more time. I'll hang out here a little bit longer, see if anything shows up, simply because we're at the 11 o'clock macro here in about 5 minutes. So let's see what happens during the rest of this time. My expectation is we're just going to continue this move. That would be my expectation. Sorry, I got all the colors of the rainbow on here. Let's get rid of some of these because I think the opening range gap I'm done with. The 4 hour I'm done with. This 15 minute I'm done. Done. Let's put that 5 minute back on. Now, I know there's not that many of you on here, but give me a 1 if you took any of those trades, or give me a 2 if you didn't. You're not trading for the day, or you took trades earlier in the day, or you're just tape reading right now. So 1 or 2. Let me know what you guys did today. Now, I'm curious for you guys watching, how much of a delay is it right now? I'm going to count my time. I'm just curious on how delayed the feed is. We're at 10, 44, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So we're at 10:44:30. Let me know how delayed this stream is. I'm curious. We just came into this last fair value gap to the downside before we hit this low. So if we're going to play this back and forth game, this is where it should turn, unless it wants to run to this fair value gap, which has been untouched here, which it could absolutely do and still go higher. That would be a great move right there. If we come, break this low, find support at this 1 minute, and we have an inverse right there, that would be a great move to the upside. 30 seconds. Dang. Now, be curious. Try putting on. Go to the bottom of your screen, the settings bar on YouTube, and then on your playback speed, move it to 1.2, 1.25 or 1.5, and see if that increases or decreases the latency on that. And then let's see. I want to see if that increases it at all. So we are going to be at 10:46 here in a second. So it'd be 10:46 right now. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me know if that increases or decreases the latency and the delay on YouTube by changing your settings to the playback speed to 1.25 or 1.5. Hello, Raul. Nice to have you. Today I'm resting. I don't like, you didn't like the PPI. Thanks for leaving your like. I appreciate it. We did take 2 trades. We did take 3, so we were 2 for 3. And the 1 loss should have been a win if I just could have held it. But I didn't want to have a full loss on my hands to deal with. Okay, I was just curious. I've heard other people in the past talk about doing that. I appreciate you doing that for me, BF. Watching this play out here, I like to see this run below this low into this 1 minute. I think we'll find support at this 1 minute, and then we could see an inversion or a breaker there. See you, Raul. Thanks for stopping in. I want to see this come all the way into this, but this totally could be a soup into below this low. Let's look at that. We're already on the 30-second. So the only way I would take a long from here, if I was, I'm done for the day, is if there was a fair value gap left here and we inverse that fair value gap, and then I would take that long. There's probably one on the 15-second. So it's right here. Here's the 15-second. So if we closed above that on the 15-second, that's before we hit this high. Before we hit that, so that would invalidate the trade. We just took that would have been an invalidation of the trade idea on the 15-second. But now we have a low, high, lower, low. We have a low, high, lower, low. So we could see a breaker off of this play right here. This would be a fairly quick one. You would want to get in this right when it would touch. That's how I would treat that for how aggressive this is. If it's going to give us an opportunity, you get in on the first opportunity it gives it to us. I'm not taking any more trades. I'm done. So what I'll do is we'll put up we'll do paper trade because I'm going to be done on my accounts. I'm going to close those just to solidify that. All right, so if I'll go long here. That's where I'd want to go long, and my stop loss would be at 40 ticks. And making equal highs here, I want to see some aggression. We're in the macro time, so I like the macro time. I like the wick below this. I wish it would have grabbed here, but a stab in here will get us long for a move higher. Come on. I'm going to get in here because this fair value gap could not bring us all the way back down. I'll get in for a second round if we drop lower. All right, so there would be our entry. We're in long for 10 handles. Let's see if it holds. If it inverses this, we're on the 30-second. If it inverses this, you want to get out before your stop hits, because that means price action is becoming trash. Oh my gosh. So that would be, you would want to get out. So that's not a good sign. That means price action is now getting choppy, and we're probably not going to see anything. Hence why I didn't take that on any account but a paper trading account, because I'm done. But you see, we have this breaker. We inversed a 15-second. We also have this breaker right here that we came into. The only thing that we have that could... That's probably going to now go. Let's see what happens here. Because we also have these equal highs. The reason I got excited about that, guys, is we have the equal highs. And we're in the macro time. Really, I guess for the breaker, I could have looked at just the 1 minute and played the 1 minute instead of trying to go to a lower time frame, because we were sitting on the 30-second there. But I mean, I really do like this stab into here and the reaction to it. I guess you got this 1 minute inversion right here that towards these equal highs. The only thing that you don't have is you don't have it grabbing liquidity on the downside here. So I'd call this a B plus setup. But it basically did what I expected it to do. It made this big move, had a retracement, and it's consolidating here until the macro time. Now let's just see if the macro time wants to push it back higher. That's what I expect price to do, is the macro to push this higher and to start moving the other direction. We haven't even filled this 5 minute yet, so that would be the initial target. The consequent encroachment around that would be the first target, which overlaps with this mitigation low right here. So this would be a B plus setup right here. I'll take it on a paper account, but like I said, B plus. We have equal highs. We have low resistance liquidity right here. And after this move, people are probably thinking this is a bear flag. A bear flag to go lower. It's going to look like it's going to go lower, then it'll just push higher. To grab all of these bearish sellers here. That's how I would look at it. I guess my music died. Headphones died on me. So price, like I said, man, price is kind of just doing its thing right here. And we are 2 minutes away from 11 o'clock. So let's see what happens there. If nothing fantastic happens, I'll probably be done. Well, I mean, I'm personally done. I'm on here for you guys right now. Trying to set up some jet skis for the 4th of July. So I'm not ready to quite buy some jet skis yet, so I'm looking at renting some for the 4th of July. We have a lake out around in the country that we own. So we're going to look at doing a lake day on the 4th of July. That should be fun, so that's who I'm responding to. All right, so we wicked down into that 30 second, just above that 30 second, filled this 1 minute. So this could be a nice place for a long, right before, 10 seconds before 11 o'clock. Let's see what happens here. There's not an option for a long here other than a soup. Nothing. There's not an opportunity here. That sucks. Let's go to the 2 minute. There's one right here. Here's a 2 minute right here. That 2 minute looks decent. But we got 2 minutes we have to wait. Just not looking nice, guys. This is not looking nice. Got a minute left. Let's see. This would be the last one, guys. If this, let's see what happens here. Let's see if price wants to do something out of this. All right, this would be a paper long if it closes above. Doesn't look like we're going to get it. Dang it. Got another 2 minutes on that bad boy. We did fill this volume imbalance right here. You'll see that tiny volume imbalance. We came into that volume imbalance and the 2 minute fair value gap. We did technically not touch this 30 second yet. Well, guys, I'm going to call that a day. I'll be here tomorrow morning. Thanks for joining. If you haven't, give a like if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys. And oh, there we go. There's a move right there. I guess we got 6 seconds. Let's see if we inverse this. I'll do a paper short just for fun if it closes. Oh, we didn't even close below it. Yeah. We're done, guys. We are done. I'm not liking what I'm seeing, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. I'd love to have you. Thanks for being here. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.